Hey, what's up everybody? It's your girl, Marcella Wilson, back at you with another video. Actually, this is part 2 of a video. Last week I did a video and I talked about the 3 things I would never put in an Airbnb. Like if I could start all over, which I do all the time, I'm always putting up Airbnbs, but if I could talk to Marcella before she got started, these are the things I would tell her not to put in an Airbnb. So, if you guys don't know who I am, my name is Marcella Wilson. Me and my husband run several successful Airbnb properties, and I teach other people how to set up and run their Airbnb properties as well. I believe you can build the life of your dreams one Airbnb at a time. I've done it. And on this channel, I show people how to do that too. I share nuggets of my experiences and try to give you value. I know a lot of people are on YouTube searching for information, trying to learn. I remember when I was trying to start out, I was ravenously consuming information. So I wish I had something like this. So I'm trying to share the lessons that I've learned over these past 5 years of running a short-term rental property, and hopefully you can avoid some of the mistakes that I've made. But regardless, it's been a wonderful, joyous experience. It's been a magic carpet ride. I think it's the best business ever. What can I say? I'm biased. Let's get into the topic. Last week I talked about 3 things that I would never put in an Airbnb. So you can check the description. If you haven't watched that video, check the description and I'll have a link for that. And then I said there would be a part 2. Well, this is the part 2. This is the next 3 things that I would never ever put in an Airbnb. So again, this is all based on my experience, right? Because there's no better lesson than experience, than real life, the day in and the day out. You know, it's different than like you taking a course and someone says, oh, put this in the Airbnb, you gotta have this, you gotta have that. Nothing beats actually real life hands-on experience. And that's where I'm getting my list from. I know there's a lot of gurus out there saying a lot of different things. I'm telling you what Marcella said, what Marcella has experienced. All right. So let's get into the 3 things, well, the next set of 3 things that I would never put in Airbnb. All right. The number 1 thing I would never put in an Airbnb is carpet. Why? I'm sure you know the reason why. It's because it gets stained, it gets dirty, it gets worn down, and you're going to have to replace it constantly. When we were setting up our first Airbnb, we actually bought the property, right? We just bought it outright. Now, I'm not saying that you have to do that, but you know, that was what we did. And I don't tell my students to do it one way or the other. It's whatever you can do, right? And you might be renting out, you know, your basement or a bedroom, something you are already in, and that's completely fine. It's whatever is good for you, whatever works for you works. My husband and I bought the property outright, and they were putting carpet in there. That was part of what you get. Carpet in all of the bedrooms. Carpet on the whole 2nd floor, carpet in all the bedrooms. And at first I was just like, great. Okay, fine. Looks gorgeous. Love it. It was a light tan color. And it really wasn't, I think I upgraded 1 level of the carpet, but it really wasn't the best quality. So as you can imagine, it got stained and torn up pretty quickly. I remember my property manager would call me and be like, we got to clean the carpet. I was like, okay. And then like, it seemed like a month later, she'd call and be like, we got to get the carpet clean. And I'd be like, we just got it clean. She's like, we got to get it clean. And then she would take pictures. Here's a stain. Here's a stain. And then she'd be like, I can't get this stain out. I'd have, we had professional cleaners come. They'd be like, we can't get this stain out. And the stairs were just a disaster. So I also had, the builder put carpet on the stairs. No. The stairs were the first to look horrible, right? And we would just clean it all the time, get the stairs and all the carpets professionally cleaned, and then it was just like, we just can't salvage them. And you don't want anybody walking into your property and it just looked crazy because the carpet is worn down and threadbare and stained. So I had to get them replaced. Well, I didn't replace them. I ripped them out and got hardwood. I learned my lesson, because if you have an Airbnb that gets a lot of traffic, that carpet is going to get destroyed. Because again, people, this is not their house. They're not going to treat your Airbnb like they treat their house. And if you have high traffic areas in your house, don't put carpet there. Or I shouldn't say house, in your Airbnb. Whether it's a basement, a room, whatever. High traffic areas, I would not have carpet there. I would put hardwood, laminate. They have some amazing hardwood blends, I guess is what you call them, laminate blends. I would use those. I would never ever put carpet again in an Airbnb. That's the first thing, based on my experience, I would never put in an Airbnb. The second thing is kind of along that line, right? Is the first property, the couch we had two areas where there was a couch. One couch was like pleather, it wasn't leather, it was the fake pleather, like vinyl kind of material. And another couch had cloth material. So that first couch that was pleather, and then it had little buttons on it. Big mistake. The pleather couch got sliced. Like, I don't know what happened, obviously, because I wasn't there, but one of my guests sliced and cut the pleather. Of course, they denied it, but there was a cut on the front of the couch, and it took us a very long time to find someone to replace it, and we eventually just ended up having to replace the whole couch because someone cut it, and it had buttons on it, and I would never get a couch with buttons on it. In my house I would be okay with it, but not for an Airbnb, because the buttons all broke off. Because everybody's, having fun, leaning back, having fun on the couch, which you want. You want people to enjoy your Airbnb. But all of those buttons broke off, and every new guest that came in was like, I just want to let you know, I didn't do it. I don't want to get charged for it, but all the buttons on the couch are popped off, and there's a really, really big, gash in it, So I would never get a pleather couch, because it's going to get cracked, sliced, and I would never get a couch with buttons on it, because those buttons going to get popped off. All right. Along the same lines of the couch, so you got to be careful about your couch fabric or furniture fabric, is a couch with cloth material. So you just have to be mindful of what type of material. I do feel that cloth is a little better than the pleather, but you have to be careful with the cloth material because, again, it can get stained, right? So you have to do your research and get a cloth. I know they have some couches where you can take the covers off, you can wash them, the material is stain resistant, all of that. I would go that route. So be careful with with cloth material. And if you do go that route, make sure that the material, you know, like one of my couches, I can just, you know, take the couch covers off, wash them, and I'm good. Make sure they're stain resistant. You may have to pay a little bit more. Trust me on this one, it's worth it. So second thing, I would never put furniture like a couch or a chair with the pleather material and just straight up cloth. Alright, that's number 2. Trust me on this one. See, these people, other people out here ain't gonna tell you that. But I care about you, so I'm gonna let you know. Alright. The third thing, I would never put in an Airbnb. And again, this is something that no one else will tell you. It's something that anybody can take off site. Okay, what am I talking about? So say for example, in your Airbnb, whatever that might be, condo, bedroom, or whatever, you offer your guests baby items, right? And I talked about in part 1 of this video, I would never offer a crib, right? And I told my reasonings for that. So if you haven't watched that video, go ahead and watch it. But say you offer things for your baby, which a lot of people do, and I do as well in my Airbnbs. You know, when you're leaving with the baby, right, you guys are going out to dinner or whatever, the baby goes in a stroller, right, or a car seat. And that could be problematic for you as an Airbnb host. Why? Because if you offer your guests a car seat for a baby or a stroller for a baby, and they take that somewhere to the restaurant, or they're going to Target or whatever, Walmart, I love you, Walmart, and something happens to the baby, guess who's responsible? Something happens to the baby in that car seat, or that car seat malfunctions, or that stroller malfunctions, then you are liable because you provided that to them. Now let me just say this as a disclaimer. I am not a lawyer. This is not legal advice, right? This is all based on my experience and what I've been told, right? So I used to offer my guest strollers and cribs. Now I don't. And I don't think you should either. And that doesn't go for, that doesn't just go for baby stuff like a stroller or a crib, but it could be other things. Like, I don't know, maybe somebody might get fancy and include a car with the Airbnb rental. I don't know. Don't do it. Anything that person can take off of the property, off of the premises, don't do it. And again, a lot of people are not going to tell you these things, but I'm here to tell you, based on, you know, my experience, good and bad, you know, if I were starting all over again, or what I tell my students, don't put that carpet down. It might be cheaper, but you're going to pay in the long run. That's facts. All right, so let's just do a quick recap of the 3 things. This is part 2. Three more things that I would never put in an Airbnb. 1, carpet. No carpet nowhere, if you can help it. Definitely not in high traffic areas. Definitely not in bedrooms. And if I were to do it all over again today, even if, like, say I bought a place, or, you know, I was renting out a basement in where I lived, and I have carpet. Some in my house, some I have carpet and hardwood. But if I decided to, like, convert, say, my basement to be an Airbnb, I'd rip that carpet out in a heartbeat because I know what's coming. So, and if I were to, you know, do a separate property and that property already had carpet, I'd rip it out before I started renting it out. Do not do it. So number one, no carpet nowhere as much as possible. Number two, the furniture material is important. Don't have couches or highly used furniture like a couch. Don't get that pleather material. It's going to get cut, cracked, and definitely no buttons. Be careful with cloth furniture. If you do get it, get that over the pleather material, and don't get leather either because it's along the same lines, right? Get the cloth, but make sure you can wash the covers are removable. You can wash them. You get stain resistant fabric. You're going to do much better with that. And don't be like my grandma. Remember back in the day, they put like plastic on the furniture? Don't do it. Just get the stain resistant removable covers. Alright, and then the last thing, don't offer your guests anything that they can take off site. Why? Because you're going to be responsible if anything happens to them while they're using or in that. Alright, hope you got some value from that. If you haven't seen the first part of this video, check it out. I'm going to put the description in the link. I don't think I said this earlier. Please like, subscribe, share this video if you know somebody who wants to set up an Airbnb or is running one. Share. Sharing is caring. If you're interested in any of my other trainings, check out the description below. I'd love to have you. Remember that, you know, you can build the life of your dreams one Airbnb at a time. I did it and so can you. Alright. I'm out. Have a great one. Take care. God bless. Bye.